What is the body language of a liar?
If you look down at the ground when you're talking, people know you're lying.
You guys, I teased this at the end of my last video, but I get asked this question all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, body language helped me catch a burglar.
If I ever run into that guy again, you know what I'm gonna do? Bend over!
That broke into my home. So today, I'm gonna share with you what the body language of a liar looks like. Plus, I'm gonna tell you, probably my most cool, hardcore story of my whole life. Next to skydiving, but that one is slightly down because I did barf in the air and it did hit the guy strapped to my back. Another story for another day.
It tastes like feet.
I'm Amy Walker, your business bestie. I am a small business strategist and I've helped many entrepreneurs be able to grow their business to 6 figures and even 7 figures. And I know that you can do it too because I'll be there for you like Phoebe to Joey. But we're not going Ross to Rachel because I will never go on a break. I will always be there for you. So my husband used to work nights and I would be home with the kids alone every single night, and we lived out in the middle of nowhere in this 200-year-old farmhouse that had 3 different colors of green shag carpet because the homeowners were too cheap in the 70s to buy the same type of green shag carpet.
I mean, look at this mess.
It was our poor phase, the struggling entrepreneur phase. We didn't really have any neighbors. And one day, it was like an early Sunday morning, and I heard someone knock on the door. So I got out of bed and I walked to the door and nobody was there. And I thought, yeah, they probably just made a mistake, came to the wrong place, because 90% of the people that came to our house were just lost and needed to know where to go. So I went and I got back in bed and I fell back asleep, and pretty soon I heard dish noises. It's like dishes moving in my kitchen, and I thought, oh, Steven got home early, how nice, he's doing the dishes for me. And then I fell back asleep.
You fell asleep?
And then I heard these really loud footsteps coming down the stairs, which is where my kiddos were sleeping. And I thought somebody had fallen down the stairs. Because I didn't have anyone in my family except for my husband that was heavy enough to make those sounds. And so I thought a kid had fallen down the stairs. So I sat up and a burglar literally walked into my bedroom. He was not that far from me. And he looked at me and he went like this. And I yelled, I was like,
What are you doing?
and I got out of bed and I continued to yell at him and not get up in his face because I didn't really want to have to fight him or anything, but I continued to yell as he went out. Now the cool thing was they had parked their car right up, they were going to unload things from the door. So I literally had a perfect vantage point of his license plate. I wrote it down. I called the police.
If she punches in 911.
I didn't really know what had come out of it until a couple of months later when they had me come in and look at some pictures and see, who was the burglar. And I could tell, for one thing, we hadn't been that far apart, but for another, he had a big tarantula tattoo on his face and neck, which I don't recommend if you're considering a life in crime. It's a little too identifiable. So I ID'd him in the pictures. And then a couple months later, I got invited to go do the lineup.
Do you recognize any of these men?
And so I go into, the jail holding place where they do the lineups and they bring all the people in. It is the one thing that is exactly like what it looks like on TV.
Tell me why. Ain't nothing but.
So we're in there. And they're telling me all this background information because I think a lot of people that go are kind of traumatized. They're like, are you feeling okay? I was like, I'm good. Nothing really happened as far as burglars go. It's a pretty good one. And so I'm in there and they're telling me the story of how all the people that they get to come, they give them a king-size Snickers bar and they let them get a ride. So they get out of jail for the day, they get some candy, so they come. So everybody's standing in the line and they're all just still, except for my burglar. My burglar is fidgeting and biting on his lips and his hands. He kept making fists and clenching and unclenching his fists. He kept rubbing his legs. He had so much body language going on. It was fascinating to see because he was in that moment of pressure. Everybody else had no pressure. They got their candy bar and the drive in the van. They were good. He was a mess and his body language was sending so many signals. Okay, so what is the body language of a liar? Well, this is going to be depending on, are you talking to a really good liar? Are you talking to a compulsive liar who actually believes their lies? Or are you talking to the average person who's not really skilled in lying and you're trying to figure them out? They're all going to be different. A really skilled liar, I wouldn't even try to figure this out, and you're not going to come across them that often. I have yet to meet Danny Ocean or any of his compatriots.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And I don't really engage with a lot of very skilled liars. I have had a good amount of time with compulsive liars who think that they're telling the truth. And the interesting thing about their body language is it tends to be a little bit more protective, because most people who lie and then believe their lies, it's done out of self-preservation. So they'll use gestures like soothing gestures. Anytime you see rubbing, that's self-soothing. They'll sometimes even lick their lips, like just trying to tell their lips like it's okay to say these words.
Thanks for teaching me how to lie, Phoebes.
No problem. Next week, stealing.
Once you kind of get past the lie, especially if other people are starting to buy into the story, then their body language kind of settles right back into normal. It's like there's this initial place where there's some additional movements, and then it kind of settles back into normal because it's like, oh yeah, that's true. Now, who you're going to engage with most, for the most part, are going to be people who are telling little white lies, and they're probably motivated by just trying to get where they need to go or do what they need to do. There's not usually a big, deep, nefarious, big plot going on, but you just want to be able to tell if people are truthful or not. What you really want to look for is inconsistencies.
What? You guys knew You all knew and you didn't tell me?
I like to look at the eye movements quite a bit, because where people look, where their eyes move, is showing where they're getting information from their brain. So if they look up, that's inspiration. If they look down, that's emotion. If they look side to side towards their ears, that's usually listening to outside influences. Somebody else is talking to them inside their mind. If they look up and to the left, they're looking into the past, and they're looking into the left side of their brain, so details. If they're looking up and to the right, they're looking future, and that's their creative space. Now, you might think lying always happens when people are looking up and to the right. It's not actually true, because you could listen to outside influences, and then you could say what those voices in your head say.
That's an eye removal machine. All right, I'm out of...
And don't tell me you don't have voices in your head. We all have them. Sometimes it's my mom talking inside my head. Sometimes it's like,
I got tricked into all those things.
my kids or my spouse or somebody else's opinion of me. But sometimes you hear that and then say that, and that's not actually truly what you think. Sometimes you'll be talking to somebody about details and facts, and they'll go up and to the right. It doesn't mean they're lying, but it's not the best information, because if you're asking for details and facts for somebody and they're going and creating those numbers, they don't really know those numbers. Those aren't the real numbers. If you're asking someone questions about like where we're going or the vision or the future or something, and they go up and to the left, they're not with you. They're not there. So I watch the eyes. The eyes give a lot of information, and what I'm watching for is just, did where they get the information from not line up with what they just said? Another thing that I look for is the swallow. You can see this, especially if you have a guy with like a really super big Adam's apple.
Women don't have Adam's apples.
You guys are messing with me, right?
You can see the swallow, and the swallow is they've swallowed down information. So that means you got part of the story, but you didn't get all of the story. So that can be a sign that someone could be lying. Another sign can be hiding the hands. So if you notice somebody is, hands in pockets or behind their back, or they're keeping them under the table, but when the hands aren't showing, that could be a sign that maybe they're disguising their purpose, because our hands really do show a lot about our intentions. Now, the reality is none of these signs mean that somebody is lying. They can all mean something totally different. And the way that you're really truly going to be able to tell is you're going to watch for multiple signs, and when you can find at least 3 things that just don't add up and your gut tells you it doesn't feel like this person is being honest with you, then trust your gut and change the context of the situation so that you make sure that you are safe and you are protected. Like me with my burglar. I needed to change that context and get him out of my house.
Joey, if you want to leave, just leave.
there are some times where there's people that are coming into your business that really, it doesn't matter if they are willing to pay you, it's not the right fit. If they're deceitful, if they're dishonest, if like they're just not there to do good, it's time to move them out. Get them out of your house and write down their number so they don't come back again. If you want more body language information, or if you missed the first video, make sure that you go check out the video, Why is Body Language Important in Sales? Because it gives a lot of information on what you should be doing and what to avoid doing in order to be really confident in closing deals consistently. Hey bestie, are you serious about getting your sales and marketing in place? Because I think that's truthfully why you're here on this channel. If you are serious about it, I want you to go ahead and click the link for my sales and marketing GPS so you can take the survey. Tell us what's going on in your sales and marketing. Let us diagnose where you're at, where you want to be, and help you come up with that action plan so that you can truly get your business sales going the way you want them to. All right, bestie, if you're watching videos right now and you plan on watching a few more, go check out that next video.